Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to create another table. So I'm going to create a new table called orders. So here I'm going to say again PHP artisan make migration and then create orders underscore table. And now the process is much easier. Now if you open up the migrations here, you'll find that we have a new file called order date and then create orders table. If you open it, you will find that we have here create orders table, and now we can create that table. So the fields or the columns that we need for this table are first the ID, and then we want the cost of the order. So I'm going to say here decimal, and then cost. That's going to be 8 digits and 2 after the point. We also need the name and the email and the status. So we need the table name, which is going to be a string, the name of the user or the customer. So I'm going to say string name. And then we need the table string email. And we need also the status and the phone and the city. So we need table and then string status, the order status, whether it's paid or not. We need the address and the city, the phone, the city, and the address. So I'm going to say string city and then table string and then address, and then we need also the phone table and then string. I'm going to be using a string for the phone because the phone could be long and we might need to store it as a string. And we also need phone, city, address, and we need the date. So finally we need to say here table and then date, and then here we need to say date, and that's it. We have all of these, and that's it. Let me now click on file and then save all, and we need to create another table here. Save, just save. We need to create another table called order items. So for the order items, we need to open up again the terminal, and then we need to say PHP artisan make migration and then create order items underscore table. And this table is going to store details about the order, such as each single product that exists in the order. So I'm going to open up again the migrations, and then now we have a new file called create order items table. Now for this table we need the following fields. We need the order ID, the product ID, the product name, price, image, quantity. So I'm going to start here by saying table, and then I'm going to say integer order ID, and then we need table, and then we need the product ID, which is also going to be integer, product ID, and then we need the product name, which is going to be a string, table, and then string product name, and then we need the price, which is going to be decimal, product price, and again it's going to be 8 2, and we also need the image quantity date. Image string image string product image, and then table, and then integer, and we need the quantity and the date. So the quantity here, product quantity, how many items the user bought, and finally the date. I'm going to say table date order date, and that's it. Let me now click on save. Let me make sure first we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So this is correct. Let me click on file and then save. Finally, we need to create a table called payments, which is going to store the payment information. So I'm going to create a new table here. I'm going to say PHP artisan make migration and then create payments table. Now in this table we need, let me open up the migrations, and we would need only 3 columns. We would need the ID, of course, and then we will also need the order ID, the transaction ID, and the date. So we need here table order ID, which is going to be a string. I should say string first. Actually, it's going to be integer. I should say integer, and then order ID, and then table string, and the transaction ID is going to be a string, because the transaction ID is not an ID, it's not a number, it's a string. It's not going to be a number, it's going to be a combination of numbers and characters. So we need to say string. Transaction ID, and finally the date. I'm going to say table date. And we are good to go. Now let me click on file and then save all. Let me make sure that we have 1 2 3. So these are the columns. Let me remove this now. Let me close this. And let me click on file and then save all. And now the most important thing that we need to do now is that we need to migrate. Migrate means that we need to insert these tables into the database. These tables now have been created, but they are in the project, and the database doesn't know about that. So the data, in order to let the database, hey database, we have 3 tables or 4 tables or whatever number of tables that we want to insert, then we need to use the migration command. So I'm going to say here what I'm going to say is that I'm going to say PHP and then artisan and then migrate, and then hit enter. As you can see now, a lot of commands have been executed. These commands are commands that inserted the tables into the database. So all of these tables have been inserted into the database. Some of these tables are our tables, and other tables are related to Laravel. So don't worry about other tables. If you find different tables that you don't recognize, don't freak out, because Laravel has a few other tables that they need to insert into your database so that the project runs successfully. Now, if you open up your PHPMyAdmin, and if you go to your project Laravel, you should find that we have a lot of tables. Again, don't freak out. There are here tables that have been created by Laravel. Not all of the tables have been created by us, but the tables that we created are orders, order items, and payments. So these are the tables, also the products. These are the tables that we have created. For example, here we have the products table, which contains the ID, name, description, price, sale, price, quantity, category, type, image, and image one. So now we have the tables created into our database.